Hello everyone and welcome back to our second video in our Python tutorial series. So, if you are a part of the Hyperion of Bootcamp, in this video we will cover a similar problem than the compulsory task 2 in your task 1. Now, we are still in the same folder as we were before because we are still on task 1. One additional thing with the compulsory task 1 equivalent solution in the first video that I made. Here I should have just put the entire main program in the function as well. So to do that, I will have to just indent all these lines. Now I'm sure there's like a better way to do this, but I don't know how, so let me know in the comments if you know. Now, only additional thing is that we have to call main as well. Or alternatively, what you can do, let's just first test this that it works as intended. So enter name. Wait 1 second. So, for some reason we forgot to greet the user actually. So for that, we just need to see, because in the greeting, we just return this, but we need to print greeting for it to work. See, guys, I already found a bug in my program that I thought worked. So let's try it again. Okay, now it looks okay. Now what I wanted to tell you is you don't need to put main here necessarily. What you can also do is just run the program in interactive mode from the command line. So you go here in the command line, or you can just open up a separate terminal and you type python -i greetings.py. By the way, if you start typing and click tab on the left, it will automatically fill it in if there is only one program or file with your name. Like here, it's only one file in this folder, so if I just type G, click tab, the shell is smart enough to know that I will want to do this file. Now, if I click enter, here I can have this interactive Python prompt where I can use, for example, call the main function, and I will be the same as before, as you can see. So you have to type exit to exit out of here. Now that's all for the first task. Let's move on to the second one. So we want a new text file, which you can click Ctrl N, and you have to click Ctrl Shift S to save as. Let's see what we need. So we need to save it as breakfast.py. Now, for this task, I will follow the how to design programs design recipe from the book How to Design Programs. You can find the book at htdp.org, and in the preface you will find this basic steps of function design recipe, which can help you design a function if you feel stuck step by step, breaking it down to smaller manageable steps instead of just having to like think up the whole thing from start. So let's see what we need. Step one is from problem statement to data definition. So let's just read the problem statement in its entirety and then try to think about what kind of data structures we do need to use. So create a file, we already did that. Print a prompt to inform the user about the program's functionality. So for that, we don't need any data structure. Ask the user what they would like to order. The main choices are full English breakfast, bacon and egg roll, and porridge. The drink choices are tea, coffee, orange juice, or water. So obviously, guys, we will need to store all these as strings. And once the user enters their order, print a confirmation listing the content of their order. Okay, so it seems like we don't need any complex data structures. We can use just built-in simple data structures, like we will need strings to store the main and the drink choices. So let's just do this here. Again, I'm at the wrong layout. So let's just write a comment saying constant definitions. And here we need to define, or in Python, you will use variables here because I don't know if there is a separate construct. I'm sure it is for constants, which cannot be changed, but let's just use variables here. This is a simple short program, so don't have to like get all serious about everything. Let's just have fun and do it in a simple way. One thing I could introduce though is lists. So because we have 3 main choices and 4 drink choices, we would need 7 variables to store all that, and we would have to say like main 1 equals full English breakfast, main 2 equals bacon and egg roll, drink 1 equals tea, etc. That's not really nice. Like it just it's kind of a stupid way of doing things. What you can do instead is you can type mains equals and you create a list. A list is just, you know what a list is, but in programming it's the same in real life. You just create a set like structure with specific elements, and you can have any elements in there. So for the elements we need full English breakfast and bacon and egg roll and porridge. For the drinks we need tea, tea, coffee, orange orange juice, and water. Okay, now you will see later on how we can refer to the specific elements here. So if we just run the program, we can type mains, and we have some errors. So what happened here, guys? Okay, so what happened is we didn't run the program in interactive mode. So we ran the program, but nothing happened because the program doesn't output anything. So what we need to do is run it in interactive mode here in the shell. And now we can type mains and we will get our list or drinks and get our second list. Now, how do you guys think we can refer to the full English breakfast? Now, let me show you. We would just type mains and 0 because, as you can see, a list's elements are indexed starting from 0 from the left. Then 1 and 2. So mains 2 would be porridge. But what you can also do, I think, is mains minus 1, and that will be porridge 2. So the reason for this is if that you have a long list with like 1,000 elements, you can type mains minus 1 to get the last element. That should be all clear now. So let's continue with our trial program. We can exit out of here. Guys, this is important. So if you are using the interactive mode and then modifying your program, you need to exit out of here and rerun your program to be up to date. Otherwise, what will happen is even though if you modify your program here, you will be still running the instance of the previous version. So you might think like, I don't understand what's going on, this is not working. The reason for that is that you are still running the previous iteration. So always exit out, and then if you click the up arrow, you can get your last command here. So that's an easy way of going back like this. Okay, now back to our task. So created a file, we did our data definitions. So what's signature, purpose statement, and header? Well, a function signature is just the first line of the function where we use define and name the function. So our main function here is the function that takes the user's order and prints it. So let's just say ordering function. Now the function doesn't need any arguments because we will just use our one menu. But let's say you had multiple restaurant menus and you could use the same ordering function and give the menu as an argument, for example, to have it work with different restaurants. Now, what are the functions we will need? Well, what are the tasks that we need to break this sort of multi-task program into the separate pieces? Well, we need to print a prompt to inform the user. So let's just do print info, then do inputs. So order equals inputs, and here we will put choices because we need to inform the user about what choices they can have. So I separated the print info of what the program does and the choices. This way, if you ever change either, you don't have to like go into the sort of whole print info and the choices longer string. You have it separate, so it's more easily, flexible, more easily changed. So for the choices prompt, what do we need to do? Well, we don't have to define it yet because now we are just sort of having a big picture overview of what our function needs, and we will fill in the details later. So these are what's called wish list functions. So you don't have the function defined yet, but you sort of have a wish of what you want it to do. You are confident in your ability to do it. So now you just think at a high level of what you want main function to do, and later on you will design all of them one by one. So take the input from the user and then print confirmation. Now to print a confirmation, you need to give it the order that we just stored. Otherwise, how would you know what input the user gave and what is their order? Now, obviously, we need to define all the other functions. So one thing I didn't do here, but I can introduce, is sort of a purpose statement and header. So, okay, so when I said earlier the function signature is the first line, that's not true. That's the function header, this here. Now a function signature is simply something like this, where you say what data the function takes in and what data does it output. Or here, you can type standard output because it's printing output to the standard output, which in this case is our shell. Now, to be fair, I'm not really sure how to represent in the signature that we are also reading info in, so let's just leave it like this. Here, if the function had any parameters, you would list them here like a number, string, etc. Now, the purpose statement of this function is just specified in our problem statement, which means, or which says that reads in an order and prints it out. Reads in a breakfast order and prints it out. Nice. Now, for functional examples, we can put them here as well, which is our next step. And for that, we have to specify, like, let's say the user enters, which means which we can say as input, and type what the user enters. So to make it simple for us to read in, we will have the user enter the main and the drink in a separate line. So that way, we will have it like this: input, full English breakfast, new line, but obviously this won't be shown like this to the user. He will just press enter, but that's the character. When you click the enter button, that's the key event that happens, is putting a new line. So full English breakfast and tea. And new line after that as well, because you will press enter to enter the drink. Okay, and so we say for input, expected output, and we just need something like you ordered the full English breakfast and a cup of tea. So here, as you can see, we can already think how to make this more personalized. So with the drinks, teas and coffees comes in cups, orange juices and waters come in glasses. So we can already, figure out, well, how can we make this more personal? Don't sound so robotic. We can differentiate between tea and coffee or orange juice and water with our output. That will be the selection statement that I shouldn't introduce in this lesson, but I will anyway, because it's the sooner you learn about it, the better and more interesting programs you will be able to design. So to make sure that what I just told you is clear, I will do another. I just have a typo here. I would do another example where I will say for input bacon and egg roll. I don't really need the new line here. Uh, bacon and egg roll and orange juice. Expected outputs is you ordered, so this is the same, a bacon and egg roll and a glass of orange juice. So see, it's glass or cup depending on which item in the drinks we do. So we have our functional examples, so we need our function template. Now, that's what we are kind of doing here. We are defining all the helper functions we need because this is just a simple sequential function. So the order of execution will be just one step after the next until we are finished. And these are the three functions that we need. So our main function is finished now. All we need to do is define all the help functions. So let's start with print info. Now with print info, we just simply need, similar to task 1, what we did, to inform the user about what this program is. He needs to know like what needs to happen for him to be able to use it effectively. So again, none and standard output is our function signature, and our purpose statement is to inform the user about the what do we inform the user about? We inform the user about how to use the ordering function. Now, function header we already have, and functional examples we don't need because this function works the same for all inputs. So, I mean, we could write like expected output and put a string there, but yeah, let's just do that. You know what? Stick to the template for now. So expected output is this is a breakfast ordering program. New line. Enter your main course and drink. Enter your main. Okay, so this is breakfast ordering program, and we need to stop there. Remember what I said earlier, we separated this from actually giving the choices, right? So this is all we need here. So here we just say, store the constant right here. Info equals, and say this is a breakfast ordering function, and print info, we just legit print info. But at this point, this is stupid, right? Because we are using a built-in function that everyone knows and defining it again. So don't do this, just delete the whole thing and replace print info here with print info like this. This is a better way of doing it. Easier to understand. Okay, so we are done with our first step. So second, we need to our order will be input choices. Now what we need to do here is define the choices string. Remember the parameter of input is a string that gets printed before we take the input. So this needs to inform the user what choices they have. So we need a format string for this because our choices could change, and you don't want to, if whenever you change the choices, you don't want to also change the choices string. So if you hard coded these values in here, just wrote in full English, bacon and egg, etc., these would have to be overwritten in two places. Now you want a single point of control, so you won't hard code it in here. You will just simply say enter or main choices, mains, and use a formats placeholder here, or I don't know what's the name of this, but you know what I mean. These curly brackets, and you put in mains. Then you put a new line and you say drinks, again curly braces, and you put drinks. Now one thing we forgot to do in our print info is inform the user about the use of the function. So we informed him about what the function does, but we didn't give him any help in how to do it. So I think it's better to do it in the info here than the choices. So in the info, we need a new line, and then we should say, okay, so enter your main, click enter, then enter your drink and click enter. Now at this point, guys, we haven't tested our program, so let's run it and see if everything's okay. So we should run it in interactive mode because we haven't called any functions. So let's just type, okay, mains, drinks, still good. Now let's see info. How does this look? This is a breakfast ordering function. Enter your main, click enter, then enter your drink and click enter. So for some reason here, our new line didn't get added because we just use the info string. But if we say print info, the new line should actually be substituted, as you can see. Now to make this a bit better, we can add another new line here. Make sure to rerun this. And as you can see, this looks a bit better. Not the best, but let's just stick with this for now. So let's see choices. Now this is without printing. Printing should be the same for this because we don't have any. Now, as you can see, guys, this is ugly, right? We don't need the list. We don't need the list brackets there. Let's just leave it at this because I don't want this lesson to be too long, but you can easily get rid of these. So when you print for the user, you don't show those brackets by just simply writing a loop which goes over all the elements one by one and prints them one after the other instead of printing the whole list. The brackets just mean that you have a list. So where were we? Everything looks fine so far. Let's see what happens if we call ordering. So if we call ordering, we see this is a breakfast ordering function. Enter your main, click enter, then enter your drink and click enter. So mains and drinks, we already see, guys, that this is all like cluttered together and it's hard to tell the lines apart. Let's just add a few new lines to make this better. So add another new line here and add another new line at the end. So let's see, like this, does it look any better, guys? Rerun it again. And ordering, as you see, this is way better. This is a breakfast ordering function. Enter your main, click enter, then enter your drink and click enter. Mains and drinks. Good, we are good to go. Now what's left is we need to print the confirmation. So for the confirmation, we need a string as well, a format string. Let's just do this here. So confirmation equals format string. And well, actually, you know what? So we don't need a format string. We need a function because we will have different kind of inputs in there depending on the order, right? So the print confirmation function, which we can define, will need to obviously print the order in the end, but first we need to get the string we need from the entered items, right? So here as well, the way we did it, we need to say main equals input and separate this because we separated by enter. So You will see in a sec what I'm doing here. So now we separated mains and drinks. Obviously, in the order we need to do a main, input choice, and a drink. Input, input, but not choice. Here, drinks. And here, mains, I think. And now it will list the mains, the user enters the main, click enter, then it will list the drinks, the user enters drinks and click enter. It's better than what we had before where we enter all the, or we print all the mains and all the drinks and then have the entering. It's better to go one by one. If you think about you had a starter, a main course, dessert, drink, etc., etc. It's better to do one by one. That's how you do it in a restaurant. Like what's main course do you want, what drinks you want, etc. Now, back to print confirmation. So we have our main and our drink in our main function. Now we need to pass those here instead of order. And once that's done, we need to print, and a confirmation is a format string again. And let's look here, guys. Okay, so first, let's just design the simple way. This is called iterative refinement. You don't want to, like, you cannot design from scratch a really complex program. You design an easier version and then you extend the functionality. So first, we won't worry about this glass here, this cup and glass difference. We will just do cup. And then once that's done, we will extend the program to include the selection statement. Now, let's look at the expected output. So you ordered a, and then we need a format input and put main here, right? Because we want to put the main that the user did. So you ordered a, let's say, full English breakfast. Instead of and, let's just do with. That sounds better. So CC, you kind of go back and forth, and you just keep getting like closer to your desired outcome. Don't think anything is rigid. You can change everything like however you feel like. Make it your own and customize however you want. So you order the main now with a and input drink. Put a dot at the end. Why not? And we should be good here. So let's save our file, Control S, and then run it again. So if we call ordering, we have our prompt, enter your main, click enter, then enter your drink and click enter. Mains, full English, bacon and egg roll porridge. So I already see a problem. See guys that our prompt is right at the end here. Now this is not good. So I will stop with Control C right here, exit out, and fix this problem. So how to fix this problem? In our input, just put a new line at the end. And that way, I think our input should be on the next line. So let's try that out. Yes, can you see now our prompt is here, so we can type full English breakfast and it doesn't get to cut away. Now, you order the full English breakfast with a T, so our program works fine. But don't forget, guys, we are not done because we said we will improve this program. See, if I run it again and I say porridge and orange juice, you don't see the problem because I didn't write the the output as the expected output. What I should have done here is you order the one with a cup of and here. I didn't do that. But I won't now because we know we don't need that anyway, so this is a good first version. And what we need is to select based on the drink. So obviously it's either with a cup of or with a glass of. So that in itself, guys, is a constant. So drink text A is cup and or not text. Let's like use names that convey the meaning better. So drink holder, right? Is one is a cup and drink holder two is a glass. Now you can put like other stuff here as well in the future, like shaker, bottle, thermos, etc. to extend this program. You wouldn't be ordering in a thermos, but you could be ordering in a shaker at the gym, let's say. You know what I mean. So now that we have the drink holder one and one, what we need to do is test our drink input. So this is a string one of these four because we are not error checking here. So we expect the user to enter a correct value. So what we will do here is say if drink equals, I would just do equals here. You can, like if you had like 15 values here, you wouldn't want to do if equals tea or coffee or like, but since we only have two, let's just do this to keep it simple. So we do if drink is tea or coffee. Here, one thing that's important is the order of evaluation. So this is something called operator precedence. Or here, I'm not sure if it's a higher precedent than the equals. We can try it out, guys, and if it doesn't work, we can just put this in brackets like this to make it a higher precedence, I think. So let's just leave it like this for now, but keep in mind there might be a bug looming in here. So if tea or coffee, then we print with a, and here another format, input, and we put drink holder one, right? Because do we have a space there between them? This is a bit weird, guys. I will open it to full screen because I can't see. Okay. So with a cup of tea. So this should be fine now. Obviously, L if drink equals orange juice or water, we copy this. Now, you could probably have a way where this part you don't repeat and you put the selection right here, because if you look at these two print statements, the only difference is here we will have drink holder too. So somehow I think it's possible to put the selection in here, and in that way you would have less characters and simpler code. But I don't know how to do that in Python, so I will just leave it like this. It's good enough for me right now. Now we should be finished, uh, although I would personally prefer to put an else statement here. In case the user does make a mistake, we can just print you entered an incorrect drink. Save, go back to our interactive mode, and let's run our function again. So let's do bacon and egg roll. By the way, guys, here the funny thing is, um, so yeah, it looks like a program is working, right? But we are not actually using the mains list, I think. So if I just put bacon, let's test this. I just put bacon and tea. You order the bacon with a cup of tea. See, guys, so we didn't actually verify our inputs that our main is any of the values from the main list. I think the same is true with the drink. So let's just try that again. So let's just say steak and eggs and Coca-Cola. You order the steak and eggs with a cup. So we need to say of here. So a cup of, see guys, this is the reason for testing. You might think you are finished, but there might be like mistakes in there. So, I mean, oh, I see. So no, there's actually no mistake because we are not testing the user input. So what I referred to earlier, it would only be a problem if we had to error check the user's input, but right now we don't do that. So these are only for information, right? If the user enters an incorrect one, we are just simulating like a real, a real life in-person ordering at a restaurant. So the waiter would go and say, I'm sorry, but we don't have any steak and eggs. Now you could program that, but this is only the first task, so I think I will leave it at this. Let's just test that what we did with the drinks is working. So run ordering again. Do orange. It doesn't matter what we do for the main, but for drinks. So first let's test all four inputs actually. So you order the porridge with a cup of tea. This is called manual testing, guys. Now you can automate this, but for now, let's just stick to manual testing. So mains, I can't press anything. We tested here tea. So let's do coffee now, the second one. Cup of tea, cup of coffee. That's worked so far. Now let's do orange juice. You ordered something with a cup of orange juice, so we already see this is not working. Because we would need glass here. So what might be the problem? Let's see. Let's take a look. In our print confirmation, we obviously executed the first line for some reason because the drink holder one is a cup of. So why must that happen? And one reason is what I said earlier. So if you type here coffee and get its Boolean value somehow, it might default to true. And to get the Boolean value of a string, we just say if. This is one way to do it. Or there's probably a function that's testing truth, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So let's just do it. If coffee, press tab here, print true. See, so coffee is true. So strings default to true value. So we need to do like this. So if drink equals tea or drink equals coffee. And same here. Now let's rerun our program and see if this fixed what we had. Okay, tea, Cup of tea, that's fine. Coffee, that's fine as well. Now orange juice, this is the deciding moment. And yeah, there we are, it's fine. So it should work with water as well at this point. And we are all done, guys. It seems like everything's working. Let's just look at our task once again. So create a Python file in breakfast.py, print a prompt to inform the user, ask the user what they would like to order, the main choices are, drink choices are, once the user enters their order, print a confirmation listing the content of their order. Now the last thing we will just do here is actually call the ordering function in the file itself. So when we run it, it comes up ran, like executed. We don't have to do the interactive mode thing. Now, this is the final solution for this problem, guys. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments or reach out to me wherever you want. See you next time.